Hey guys, Chris from Steeda here. Had an absolute blast this past weekend. Race weekend for us here at Steeda. Had the orange car out, SCCA Dixie Region Autocross, and the silver bullet out at South Georgia Motorsports Park doing some quarter-mile shakedown runs and test and tune. Scott Boda, our head of manufacturing, with a little bit more detail about why the silver bullet did so well on Saturday night at South Georgia Motorsports Park.
How's it going? Scott Boda here with Steeda Engineering and Manufacturing to talk about our world record-breaking Steeda Silver Bullet. Saturday night we were back out at the 1320 for the first time and shoot, what seemed like about 3.5 months to test out a new prototype Circle D converter, as well as some tweaks we made to our Steeda rear suspension. When we got out there, weather was hot. We're talking about mid-90s with a density altitude of just under 3,000 feet, but the car did not disappoint at all. First lick off the trailer was a 1:4:01 short time. That was to 60 foot, which is the best the car has ever done on the foot brake. We backed it up 3 more times, 1:4:01, 1:4:01, and a 1:4:07 before we decided to try to get a little bit more aggressive with the launch. What we did was we made some rear suspension changes as well as tightened up the front. What we were doing was we were having a problem where the car was actually pulling a little bit too big of a wheelie. And when it's doing that, you're wasting your forward momentum by going up instead of going forward. So we adjusted the front Steeda Pro Action shocks and struts, tightened up the front a little bit, left it so that the car wouldn't try to do a little bit of a big wheelie, but a real small one, pushing the car forward. It instantly responded, going to 1:3:91 short time, and then our final pass of the evening was a 1:3:83 short time to 60 foot. All said and told, it was about over a 1/2 tenth quicker than the car's ever been to 60 feet, and over 3/4 of a tenth of a second better than it's ever been to 60 foot on the foot brake itself. The car was super consistent, as you can see, running dead on all night long out the hole, and we're really excited to see what new offerings Circle D has, as well as some trick new rear shocks coming out from Steeda Autosports in the near future. Double adjustable drag setup, super quiet, OEM length. It's gonna give you a great ride both at the street or at the drag strip. Special thanks to Chris Seahorn and the gang over at Circle D for believing in us with this torque converter and getting them that 1:3 short time that we promised, as well as our friends over at Build Specialties. They got us the new wheels on the hot rod, and our friends at Mickey Thompson never had to worry about the tires not doing their job out there at the drag strip. They're the leaders for a reason, and also John Lund Jr. for always keeping the cylinders lit and looking at our logs and making sure she's happy and healthy all the time. And finally, Steeda Autosports for that rear suspension. So stay tuned and check out all the new exciting things from Steeda, where speed matters.
Thanks, Scott, for going over some of the cool things we're doing at the Silver Bullet out at South Georgia Motorsports Park this past weekend. Here we have the orange EcoBoost. There's a slew of brake and suspension parts on this vehicle, but I really want to point out specifically our HPDE suspension package. It has the Pro Action shocks and struts, dual rate springs that really just help to keep the car composed as it goes from corner to corner. Additionally, we also have our vertical links with poly bushings in the rear, help keeping that power planted to the ground as you exit. And on top of that, camber plates to help us keep that alignment dialed in. Now, I also had my car there this past weekend. It's a 2018 GT, automatic, performance package level 1 car with MagneRide. I have our Sport Progressive springs on there with our Steeda front and rear sway bars as well. The wheels were Enkei RPF01s wrapped in Nitto NT01s with an 18 by 10.5 square setup. Car handled great, it felt great. However, it just couldn't hold a candle to this EcoBoost, even with 4 less cylinders. But that's enough of me talking. Jamie was about 3 seconds faster. This car is set up, even with 4 cylinders less, it has all the right suspension and brake parts to put a hurtin' on my 2018 GT around the Autocross track. So as you can see from the video, between Jamie's experience, the right suspension, the right brakes, he was really able to keep this EcoBoost planted all throughout the course and put a hurting on my GT. He was actually only a second behind fastest time of the day. Be sure to subscribe because we plan on taking this EcoBoost, making it a TT4 Time Trial car over the next couple months, along with Glen in our 2018 HPDE Red GT, and making that a TT2 Time Trial car and running both these cars flat out. So we look forward to making a lot of cool content like this in the future. So stay tuned, and remember, speed matters.